Hello, welcome. This is Zoid right here, or CryptoMux if you want to call me by that. And in this video, I'm going to show you about cross-origin resource sharing misconfigurations. So let's begin with some automation stuff. So if I go to CORS, CORSI. This is a nice CORS misconfiguration scanner made by this guy here, some dev, whatever his name is. Now, this is a good program. Obviously, you just want to download the program, git clone. So if you want to just sort of download it, you would go, you grab the URL, the git repository, and you go git clone, and then you just basically paste in a link, and it can download it. I've already got it stored. So here's an example of how you use CORSI. So if I go to Python 3, obviously you need to install the requirements. So you go pip3 install -r requirements, and that will go ahead and install all the requirements for this program. Awesome. And now if you want to do find a CORS misconfiguration, just use this and you look at the H for the help. I can choose a target URL, so we'll just, for an example, we'll just do Google. Obviously, this is not going to be vulnerable. So target URL, obviously you need to put HTTPS. Okay, cool. All right, let's go check that. No misconfigurations found. But what you can do is a little trick you can do, and this is really cool, useful for testing multiple URLs. You can go for. It's going to be a for loop, and it's going to iterate line by line over a file of hosts. So we're going to input, we're going to use for in. I is the variable, and we're reading a file, say homezoid hosts, hosts.txt. Now what this is going to do is this is a variable I, so this is a standard for loop in Bash, and it's going to basically it's just a way to read a file through standard input. And it's going to basically cut out a line, but what's going to do, it's going to cut out each line and it's going to store it in a variable I. And then we want to put this semicolon and we want to go do, because I want to do something to it. And with this Python CORSI, we want to put $I. So $I is a way to sort of get the value inside I. So basically fetch the variable I. Then we just want to put a semicolon and then put done at the very end, because we're done with that. What it's going to do is going to basically iterate through all the host file and find CORS misconfigurations. And obviously there's none, but you can keep on going through this forever. Another good way to speed it up is to use xargs. So what we might do is we might go cat homezoid hosts, and then we pipe this and we put in a command called xargs. And this is a way to speed up things. We can use the processes. We'll do 10. So -p is the number of processes and parallel processes we want to use. And then -i is the variable we're going to basically reference it to. So we can just put a at or something like that. Then we want to go bash and we want to do a command. So we want to put, this is how it should be formatted, always with a quote and a bracket. Python 3 CORSI .py URL, and then we want to, so each file, each line that's been fetched in host, it's going to store in a variable at. So we make sure you put at, and then make sure all you do is put a semicolon and then close it. Semicolons all need to be always done at the end. Run that, and that's going to go super fast now because it's using 10 parallel processes. So this will fetch it really fast. See, look at that, and it's going to do like 10 times, and it will, yeah, it's pretty cool. A really good program, really good way to find things in parallel really quick. Okay, that's enough for CORSI. There's plenty of tools out there to find CORS misconfigurations. Heaps of tools out there. I'm going to name a few. So there's CORSI. There is CORS scanner. Just type in GitHub. I can just go into GitHub and it will have all the list of CORS misconfiguration scanners. CORS scanner is a good one. There's heaps of them. There's basically so many of them. I usually stick with CORSI, but I like to manually test. Now, let's have a look at a web application I found recently, and it's vulnerable to CORS misconfiguration. Now, ways to test this is you need to make sure that, is when you actually look at the repeater, you want to make sure that another burp. Allow credentials is true, and you want to make sure that, for instance, Obviously, burp's gonna burp burp active scanning can pick it up, but good to test it manually. So this one here, I'm going to send to the repeater. So Control R sends to the repeater, and Control Shift R will go to repeater. Good handy tips to use for keyboard shortcuts to speed up the flow of the testing. So as you can see here, access control allow origin is allowing any domain. So let's understand what CORS actually is. Cross-origin resource sharing is a way to share JavaScript amongst different domains or applications. So sometimes they allow an asterisk, which means any domain can actually fetch this resource. And here it's allowing anything. So obviously I wanted to get rid of these, and I found that just doing the Crypto Mux one, the member, I was able to, actually attacker, I was able to fetch this with a CORS exploit, and to have a look at a CORS exploit. Obviously it contains, the attacker, the photo URL, some sensitive stuff, not too much sensitive, but some stuff. But if you're not that authorized, you can't view most of this stuff. And here's a basic CORS exploit. So it's a HTML code script, creates a function CORS, creates an XHR request, make sure, it just goes var xhttp equals news. That's create a new object XHR request. And on the ready state, if the function calls a callback function, and if it's ready to be used, and it's instantiated and everything, the ready state is equal to 4, meaning that it's ready. And if the status is 200 okay, then it's going to get the element demo, which is obviously our button click, and on the click it calls the function CORS. So once we click this button, it's got an ID of demo, and it will call this function, and it will get in a HTML, and it will pop it in alert box, and then this is obviously XHTTP. The XHR request fetching the endpoint with credentials, and it's sending it off to the server. Now, if I open this up in a browser, let's open this up into a browser. It can be any sort of browser. Let's actually now. Here's the right there. Where is it? This one's the exploit there. So I open this up. It's going to basically open up like this. If I go exploit, it's going to now pop up the information that we've fetched from that server. But sometimes if you are seeing a spec element, and if your console comes up with an error saying, cannot fetch it because it doesn't allow it. If it's got the same origin policy, it won't work. So some browsers block same origin policy, so you can't actually execute the CORS exploit. And that's when you need to figure out a bypass. So that's a very basic video on a cross-origin resource sharing exploit. This exploit will be written in the content of the post on Patreon. So very basic, and all you need to do to test this manually is you can use a program called curl, and you can just basically curl x post, or get whatever post type. Then you just type in the URL, and then you go origin, then origin, and then you type in origin evil.com, and if that gets reflected back, then obviously you can exploit it. But another thing is to use meg. So you might do, let's have a look at that one actually. Let's go cd recon, and let's make a folder called topcoder. So cd topcoder. Now meg is download. This is TomTom tool. And you want GF. It's called grep4, but I like to call it girlfriend. I don't know why. So if you do a subfinder on topcoder.com, and we'll do a silent, then we'll HTTP probe because we want to resolve these subdomains, do 80 threads, and then we'll tee it out to a folder called hosts. Now what this is doing is it's using subfinder, which is subdomain enumeration tool. It's printing out only the domains, and it's going to resolve them. So your port 80 is opened. Oh no, sorry, it's going to resolve them. So 80 concurrent threads, so it's going to go fast. But the ports, it's going to see if it's open is 80 and 443, and that's going to just append it to a file called hosts. I run that, and that's going to then do that procedure. It's going to find quite a few. But then we want to use is a program called GF. Sorry, a program called meg to fetch all the endpoints and stuff. Just really quickly, and meg is a really good program, worth having a look at. Do a lot of you can do a lot of Okay, cool. So Meg is actually a program where you can do a lot of just fetches paths and all that sort of stuff. Worth to have a look at. A really good tool. You can actually find endpoints for it. It's a good paths that you can find, and this is the sort of format it comes in, and then it basically has the response and everything. And what we want to do is, as a grep for is a program, so we want to append just a normal path, so we begin the root domain and we'll call this paths. So in the folder, we'll name the host and the paths. We just want to meg, and then we want to print out verbose. Let's do that. And then there's this GF is a program we can find in Tom2. And this will help us grep for certain things in the requests and responses. Really cool. We're setting that up too. Let's have a look at this. And there's a file called CORS, and it comes default with GF. And this helps us find CORS really quickly and really smart. And when you find one, you want to then test it manually to see if it actually works, and you want to create the CORS proof of concept exploit. Okay, so it's GF. Comes up with these sort of things we can use, and let's type in a CORS command. And here's some here, so we can just go grab that. We can go head, and obviously, okay, we want to cut out. We want to cut out, and we just want to cut out this request here. And we'll go more because if it's a big one, we want to do a little bit of it. As you can see, access control origin is allowed, so we might be able to exploit this with cross-origin exploit, cross-origin resource sharing exploit, but there's nothing sensitive in the response. There's only just HTML. We're not going to get nothing sensitive there. So we just do that for each one. We just find out which things might give us something interesting. Let's try this one here. Cat more. Nothing sensitive there. But another way to do burp is to just obviously print out. Get all the targets, and we'll right click, and search for. Go to engagement tools. Search for. Oops, if I can load. It's probably really slow because I need to restart burp. It's playing up on me. Let's wait. Right click. Search engagement tools. Search. Okay, and then we just want to search for origin. Actually, no, we want to search for. Let's have a look. We want to search for this in every file that we can find, every request we can find. So this is a really good way to find cross-origin resource sharing and vulnerabilities. And we want to obviously get rid of the request headers and body. We just want to have a look at the request headers, response headers, sorry. In scope, dynamic update, blah, blah. And there is lots. But we want to look at these, and we want to look in the response and see what we can find that's sensitive. Obviously, nothing there. Nothing there. Usually JSON is the format we want to find in. Nothing there. So that would be something really cool to look at. Basically, it's public info, so no, probably not. Nothing in there. And this is what we just do. We just look through all this. A very easy way to find it. Find cross-origin resource sharing exploits. So worth having a play around and see what you can do, man. If you like this video, just keep on trying to find vulnerabilities. It's not like it's a numbers game. You got to try and find programs that have less people. Like, I'll give you a little hint of what we can find and why it's a numbers game. So if we go to if you go to say HackerOne, there should be an option like in the stats called recent triage reports. Recently submitted. Look for ones that are very long, haven't been submitted for a while, and then they're less likely to be. They're going to more likely to have vulnerabilities. So it's a numbers game. Also, it's luck, and it's also you need to be you got to have the right skill set. So this, you can't expect to be James Bond in 5 days. It takes you time, it takes practice. Practice this on a web application, practice it on Pentester Labs, or practice it on Portsfigure. Portsfigure have some really good tutorials on cross-origin resource sharing. I'll show you that. And they have really good ones you're allowed to hack and practice. Pentester Labs have a good one too. I'm joined a Pentester's account. And it's really cool. So I'll show you the cross-origin resource sharing on Portsfigure. go to Academy. Can't sign up, it's free. Sign up, it's all free. And we want go to View All Labs, and there should be one called CORS, and good ones too. Let's have a look at it. Let's just search for CORS, might be easier. Here we go. So CORS are the basic origin reflection, trusted no origin. There are different things different ways to exploit it too. So trusted no origin is a little bit difficult, a little bit trickier. There's all good ones. So practice with these and get good at it. And you know what? All I can say is just practice really hard and happy hacking, guys. All the best. Hope you can find some bugs.